So it takes the group of you, the four of you, along with the other pack, the Icestalkers and Melting Snow, to fly from the sept of the Hidden Ravine and over the mountains and into the open fields or the open plains of Oklahoma. And last we left off, everyone was staying afloat in the sky, but some wind spirits decided to pick on Laz and wore him down until he had to land. So everybody has landed to rest, and now that Laz has rested up again, the group of you take the skies once more, and it's probably another day as the bird flies, or I'd say another half day or so until you reach Oklahoma City. And the city itself is this sprawling web of very organized, very well planned city blocks. And in the Umbra, you can see the webs that sort of hold everything together. You see the larger spider spirits as they climb and skitter across the rooftops of the city. And Isaac, your tracking gift that I can't remember the name of right now points you in a direction a bit south from the city as you lead the way and kind of divert course away from Oklahoma City and find yourselves flying over this kind of walled compound just a few hours south of the city on foot. And with a bird's eye view, you can see what you assume to be the main school building, and then it looks like it has like another wing attached to it, and then some smaller buildings that you assume would be where the children are being kept. And the wall around it is like a brain fart. The wall around it is this kind of brick and stone wall, and on top of that, you can see that there's barbed wire on top of that, similar to what you would use to keep cattle from straying too far on a ranch.
Hmm.
And as you take a few moments to circle around, you can hear you one of the pack leader of the Icestalkers, Akahita, otherwise known as Icewind. He looks down to the ground below and says, "We should set down somewhere in the trees over there, out of sight."
Be-
Might be for the
Before
best.
they leave the Umbra, they're going to sit down inside the compound and walk through it. Leave any spiders alone, of course, but he's looking for Banes, and he's not looking for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's just looking to see what kind of Banes might be there, if any.
Okay. Yeah, and when you uh, when when the group of you set down inside of the compound, Icewind directs his pack in melting snow to stay on their guard as they look around and keep watch. And in here in the compound, there's definitely a high weaver presence. You can see spider spirits skittering along the walls and around the buildings, but you can also see a good deal of rust as well. There's one particular side of the school building that looks like it's falling into disrepair, and once Stoneheart and Melting Snow, the two Thurges in your group, point that out, you start to notice that some of the spider spirits also have some rust on them as well. And at least while outside, it looks like they're trying to patch up the outside appearance. But if there's any Banes here, they're probably hiding deeper inside. And Melting Snow speaks up and says, "The rust here and the damage on these buildings, that's usually a sign that there's worm corruption here.
Yep. Well, that's to be expected. I mean, there's pain, loneliness, sadness. All right. So they'll fly out again and go to the trees like before, like they said before. Like I said, no fighting with the Banes. He just wanted to see how corrupt the area was.
Okay. And this like cluster of trees is like a small forest, just a little bit southwest of the school itself, and it's on top of this small hill and gives you a little bit of a kind of overlook view of the complex and a view of what you assume to be one of the I don't want to say barracks, but it definitely looks like one. The residential building for one of the residential buildings for the children, and for Adrian, I'd say like everything about this place, probably except for the wall around the school, but just from the style of the buildings and everything, and how there's like a portion of a field set aside and mowed down. Well, just the look of everything so far, it looks like it's built like a military school.
It pretty much looks like a prison.
Yeah, more or less. As Laz speaks up and says, "What did they say this place was supposed to be?"
A boarding school, supposedly, but if they're holding people here against their will, it's a prison. I think that barbed wire isn't to keep us out. The barbed wire is to keep them in. What time of day is it?
It's around late afternoon, early evening.
All right. You know what? We're gonna go talk to him first. Me and Lance are gonna go talk to him. You won't stay in the Umbra. I'm pretty sure talking to him isn't gonna do shit. So that means tonight we're gonna have to break in, free the kids, and if anybody stands in our way, we're going to kill them.
Sounds like my kind of plan.
I'll try it the nice way. I will give them that chance. And when they say no, tonight around 11 o'clock, we're going back in. Sound good to everybody?
Yeah.
And then Laz says, "All right, what is it we're asking them?"
I'm going to ask them to give the kids back.
Well, that's certainly one way to do it.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but they're human beings. They're reasonable, usually. I mean, I'm here to get the damn kids back. They were taken illegally, in my opinion. So I'm going to try it the lawyer way, and if they don't like that, I'm going to do it the guru way. So basically, tonight, I get what I want.
One way or another.
That's correct. He takes off his pack. Since they're not taking horses, he has a pack for whatever shit that they need. Well, since they're going to be camping for a while, he has them light up a fire, and he quickly makes his drink so he's not going to cough too much. And then pulls out a little shaving mirror, and when they dusted themselves off and they're ready to do this, he has Laz open up the way out of the Umbra, since Laz has a better chance to do it than Adrian does, and they're going to walk to the school.
All right. So walking down the hill to the school, you kind of have to circle around a bit, as the main gate is on the more like the east northeast side facing the city. But you do see the main gate is kind of on the eastern northeast side of the compound facing the city. And as the two of you approach, one of the guards, he looks like he's probably just a soldier as part of like a reserve platoon or battalion, dressed up in the very iconic blue of the Union. And he steps forward to meet the two of you about maybe 20 feet or so away from the gate, and he says, "Hold up right there. This is government property."
Oh yeah, that's right. He starts patting down his pockets and everything, looks in his jacket, and then he pulls out a piece of paper and hands it out to him. Says, "Captain Kinescu with the Judge Advocate General, U.S. Army. I need to speak to the command."
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time? It got a little choppy for a moment.
He said he handed out a piece of paper. It's a forged document that not only shows that he graduated from West Point, which he did, but he called himself Captain Captain Konescu, which the paper will say he is a captain in the Army with the Judge Advocate General at the JAG office, which is basically a bunch of lawyers. And he said he wanted to speak to the commander.
Okay. And the soldier, he looks like he's about the rank of a, say he's a rank of, let's say he's a corporal. And he looks over to Laz and he says, "And who are you?"
Captain just walked up to you. You didn't salute. And now you're going to ask my soldier, my sergeant over here, who the fuck he is? It doesn't fucking matter who the fuck he is. I said take me to your goddamn commander, Corporal. What the fuck is your problem?
As Laz stays silent and straight-faced. And right away, you can tell you caught this guy off guard. Like maybe he just wasn't reading the card right, or maybe he's just tired. But as soon as you snap at him, he immediately salutes and says, "My apologies, Captain."
Take me to the commander, or call somebody to the gate to take me to the commander. I have been on a goddamn road for 3 fucking days, and I'm fucking tired. Got it?
And he nods and says, "Got it. Just right here for a minute, Captain." And he turns and kind of half runs, half jogs, half walks back to the gate. Says something to the other soldier on guard, and then breaks into a run as he rushes towards the school building.
He leans into Laz and says real quiet so the others can't hear. The military, they're all brainwashed. As soon as you come up and say that you outrank them and show them a piece of paper that agrees with that, and then you get pissed off, they're so afraid that you're going to take all their money away that they just do whatever the fuck you tell them to do. That's a Shadow Lord trick, Laz. I just happen to know it works because I did go to West Point. It'll be harder with their commander, though.
Give me just a moment as I refresh my memory on military ranks.
Nope. Corporal's an E4. I called Laz a sergeant, which makes him automatically an E5. Or higher, because a staff sergeant, which is an E6, or a sergeant first class, which is an E7, are all considered sergeants. They just say sergeant. You don't say staff sergeant or sergeant first class. Spent 8 years in the Army. I actually do know that if somebody came up to me and started yelling at me, telling me they were a captain, especially in a time where they didn't wear uniforms all the time, especially the officers, it would, yeah. That's the only reason Adrian knows he can get through is because even I would have been like, okay, sir.
All right, and then after a few minutes of waiting, the corporal starts to come back, and he is following behind another gentleman, an older gentleman, as as the two of them emerge from the school building. You assume that he's the captain. And then as he comes closer, you can see the uniform more clearly and the rank and everything. And the commander, he looks a little tired. But he gives a nod as he approaches you outside the gate. And
as they approach, he leans into Laz again. He says, "All right, follow me on this. First thing we're going to do is salute. I need you to stand up straight, put your feet together, toes pointed out slightly, and you salute with your right hand. He'll be looking at me, so don't worry about screwing it up. Just make sure that you don't show the palm of your hand when you salute. When the officer comes, since he's the commander of this place, even though they both might be a captain, Adrian pops to attention, salutes him when he comes. Just to sell that whole we're in the Army thing."
All right, I'm gonna give Laz a moment to type.
And they both hold the salute until the officer salutes and drops his hand as well.
All right, and the captain steps out and he returns the salute and says, "At ease." Well, how can I?
He drops to parade rest for the moment and nods to him.
All right, how can I help you too? It's not often we get visitors.
Well, it's not often that I have to travel all the way from D.C. to Oklahoma. I'm a little bit lost here, but I've got an issue. They told me to come in and look at it. Apparently, there are some children here that were absconded from a native reservation, and somehow, some way, this goddamn savages got a hold of some fucking lawyer from fucking Harvard or some fucking stupid place and gave a whole mess of legal trouble to the point where I think even the president's beginning to hear about this. So I was sent before President Cleveland had to get involved to come over here and see if I could find the kids and take them out of here. Move them. Typical red tape bullshit.
And the captain nods and he says, "Well, I can assure you, Captain, that here at the Rockcliffe Indian School, we do take care of the students here. The children in question, I can't say I know which ones you talk about, but I know the natives often.
He pats himself. He pats himself as he's talking. Pulls out another piece of paper, goes through and reads it real fast, and then looks back at him. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
And he says, I know the natives that we usually receive these children from usually try to stir up some sort of trouble, even though the what's the right word? The I don't want to say acquisition, but the transfer of these children is all perfectly legal and according to all the proper treaties and diplomatic political nonsense. In any case,
agree. I completely agree with you. It's better to take these savages and teach them the word of God. I mean, what are they doing out there? Shooting bows and arrows and wearing leather all day long? We're giving them civilization. But my orders are my orders. I got a general that tells me, come down here and find these kids. And he looks at the paper again. He goes, the kids from the Wapiti, whatever the fuck that means. Get these kids and take them back to DC so these people can have their goddamn kids back. And I'm thinking, what? You're gonna waste my time for this. I'm a lawyer, for Christ's sake. Anyways, I'm here to see if these kids from the Wapiti Indian Reservation are here. This is where I was told they were, and once I see them, I am supposed to take them. I think I have the orders somewhere around here. I apologize. This has been a hell of a trip. I did not expect to have to come out here.
And the captain nods and kind of raises his hand a little. And he says, "Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's just a curious thing that we didn't receive a telegram about your arrival. I suppose someone somewhere really must have made some mistake along the way, but..."
He shakes his head and looks off to the left at the guard that went to get the captain. He goes, yeah, the corporal in the front office was supposed to send it. Fucking corporals. Why do we pay these people? And nobody seems to want to do what they're supposed to do.
Well, Captain, this battalion here is the Army Reserve. Nobody ever wants to do what... Nobody in here ever wants to do their job. And the captain laughs and says,
No.
Well, at the very least, for all your trouble, may I offer a glass of whiskey and a tour around the campus?
That sounds great. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm being rude. This is Sergeant Crawford. He points over to Laz. As you know, we took the trains out here. We were told not to dress in uniform when traveling outside of a unit, just 2 members. So we're not in uniform. I apologize for that, but you know how it is. You get close to the south here, and some old gray coats see two blue coats walking by, and they think they're gonna make the South rise again. We don't really want to have that kind of trouble.
I completely understand. Especially this far west, you get the occasional redskin with a grudge, even though we've beaten their people down and essentially herded them.
Jesus Christ. You would think that a people would understand when they have been completely taken over. You guys lost the wars. Anyways, savages.
Anyways, well, they aren't too much trouble, but I definitely understand the precautions. I heard down south over in Lemoyne they have a few rebels out there still that still think they're fighting in the war. And he just shakes his head. Anyway, enough about past wars. Come on, I'll show you to my office. We'll share a glass of whiskey. Sergeant, you're welcome to join us if you'd like, and I'll give you a tour around the campus.
Excellent. He motions to him. Go ahead, lead the way.
And Gladys speaks up and says, "Thank you, sir." And the captain he gives a nod and says, "Of course, it's the least I can do." And he leads the two of you into the main school building. It's pretty far in the evening, so it's not a whole bunch of activity. Though there you do pass by like another soldier or two on guard, doing a patrol of the school grounds. There's a secretary by the front desk, working on this. The secretary on the front at the front desk working on some paperwork. Pretty young woman, and you step past the front desk and into the office where the captain pours a glass of whiskey and offers a glass to the two of you as he's talking about the history of the school and how it was established some 20, 15 years ago. And he just kind of mentions offhand that repeated reservation does sound familiar, but he and another battalion kind of trade places every few months over the last few years, so he doesn't recall the name of every reservation they've received children from. And he just kind of breaks into small talk. Like you can see a picture of his family on the desk and a few medals on display as well. It looks like this captain did fight in the Civil War and also in a few battles with the West Plains Indians in the years afterwards. And do you guys have anything you want to say while the three of you are in the office, or are you gonna let him take you on the tour?
Right now, Adrian's counting 2 guards at the gate, 1 guard doing a walk around. If there's a female secretary in the office, he's just counting everything, how big everything is, where everybody might be. Are there any guard towers, or is it not prison enough to have that?
It's not prison enough to have that.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's just letting him talk. He's making comments and speaking, more. He's speaking far more respectably because he's speaking to an equal, a supposed fellow captain. So he's definitely not taking the tone that he took with the specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And he took Laz because Laz is kind of the quiet guy, and that's usually what a sergeant would do when 2 captains are walking around speaking. So Laz is just being Laz and being perfect in playing a part.
All right, and then the captain gives you like a quick tour of the school building itself. He shows you where the classrooms are, and then there's like a small kind of church or a chapel in the kind of in a adjoining. There's a small chapel in a kind of a structure adjoining the classrooms. And he goes on to explain how like there's they keep a very structured schedule. There's like it's like a mix of a military school and a Sunday school. How they have morning services every morning, then there's classes, and then there's no class on Sundays, so that they have like a longer church service, and then Saturdays are kind of like an open time for the students to recreationally pursue like any of the side activities, or to play sports or work on any professional skills. And the captain kind of goes on explaining that some of their graduating students actually enlist in the army, though not all of them do. They teach various practical skills so that students are equipped to survive the white man's world, as he phrases it. And kind of going around, there's like a small open area outside for for a theater. Sometimes they'll do plays or have visiting performers stop by, and then attached to the school building is a medical wing, and you see an army doctor or two passing by as the captain gives you a tour around and explains that they try to stay as self-sufficient as possible,
Sure.
and they even have a few kind of smaller stalls or smaller, not makeshift, but very simple buildings to resemble like a general store where the children can spend money, so to speak, for treats or new sets of clothing. And he takes you around to the outside where there's a small plot of land set aside for gardening and farming. They even have a few wagons and a stable, and even a small field for either like marching drills or any sports that the children might want to play. And then he takes you over to the residential buildings and kind of goes on to say that the youngest children they have are around 3 or 4 years old. And he says, the oldest, they tend to be about 14, 16 or so. We have a graduating ceremony for when they turn 18, and then we give them a few months to get ready to move out into the world. We have connections with a few housing developments in the city and army recruiters, depending on where the children want to go.
Does he take them into the barracks, the where the kids live?
He actually keeps the guys outside, and he says, normally I would take the two of you through the barracks, but since it's so late in the evening, I don't want to disturb the children.
Of course. And you don't know where the Wapiti children are?
Oh, not specifically. I would have to check I would have to check my records, but they're probably mixed in here, depending on how long ago they were brought here. Some of them have probably already graduated.
That sure makes it definitely difficult because you were supposed to have the list mailed to you already, but if you guys haven't received word about it, we're kind of stuck. All right. This is a very well-run school, sir.
Well, I try my best. It's our duty to instill some discipline into these children. And what is it they say? Kill the savage and save the man.
Yeah. Yep. Hell of a job you're doing here. How many students do you have here?
I believe somewhere around. Usually anywhere between 150 to 200 in a year.
All of them Redskins?
Yes, all of them.
You're doing the Lord's work, sir. The Lord's work. For my own sake, I have to ask, how and when are we going to be able to go about doing this?
Well, Captain, I don't want to keep you up all night, so I'd say I can go over my records tonight, probably have everything straightened out tomorrow morning, though I'll have to send a telegram back to DC just to make sure there isn't any confusion.
Well, it's pretty late for sending a telegram, so why don't you wait until the morning to send the telegram? The sergeant and I we'll go back to Oklahoma City. We've got a hotel room there, and I will start setting up transportation from the school to the bus station or the train station for the kids. And when all the paperwork is settled, we will be able to do this as nicely and as easily as possible.
Of course, and I can have some of the men fix up a wagon for you. I'd say should have everything straightened out by noon, perhaps.
Great. Great. We'll be back in the morning then. I'll look through my paperwork again back at the hotel and make sure that I didn't forget anything. And if I have some orders for you, then I will be able to bring them and we'll be able to take care of this quickly and easily.
And the captain gives a nod and he says, "Well, before you go, may I ask what happened to your horses? It's a few hours walk from the city."
We took a train out here, so we found some farmers that were coming out near here. We got a ride about 3/4 of the way out there. We're just gonna go back towards the farmers and get a ride back with them to the city. They said they were gonna go back tonight. Unless you have a couple horses we can borrow.
Oh
And
yeah,
that way we can go back to the hotel tonight and then come back again tomorrow and give you your horses back.
give me just a moment. Let's do a roll for that.
All right.
I'd say let's go with either like a charisma or a manipulation, and also a subterfuge.
My choice, charisma or manipulation?
Yes, your choice.
Okay. 5, 3, 9, 3, 6, 9. What, 3 successes maybe?
Yeah, 3 successes. Yeah, as the captain says, "Of course, I can loan you 2 horses."
Fantastic. Fantastic. I got my horse. I got a favorite horse back in DC, but I'm not gonna put him on a train for that long. He's a city horse. He likes walking around on cobblestone, you know.
Yeah, and the captain calls one of the soldiers over to get you and Laz set up with 2 horses.
Excellent. Really appreciate this, Captain. I really do. I know it's an inconvenience we got here so late. I really thank you very much for being so accommodating for us. We really appreciate it.
Of course, it's the least I can do. The 2 of you have a good night now.
You too, Captain. Thank you very, very much again. And as he leaves, they salute again.
And then the captain returns the salute and heads back inside.
Okay. When they go off to the guy with the horses, getting them set up and stuff, he kind of makes small talk. Blah blah blah. Says, your school seems pretty bigger than I thought it was going to be. I mean, how many military people do you guys have stationed here?
And the guy getting the horses ready, he looks pretty young. He's probably like a private first class, and he says, "Oh, I think we've got 2 squads or so up here, and then the rest are on reserve over in the city. There's a base not too far away either, but the rest of the battalion is usually either in the city or at the base doing drills and such. And you rotate every few days or so."
That makes sense. Can't be that bad of a duty station, though. I mean, seems pretty well fortified. Nothing should ever attack here, do they?
Oh no, it's not like we don't ever get attacked or anything. It's mostly just to, I guess, keep the kids in. Apparently, well, I wasn't there for it, but apparently a few years back there was some kind of incident. Some young Indians tried to break the kids out. After that whole mess ended, they put up the wall, and since then we haven't really had much trouble. Well, so I'm told.
Yeah, I feel bad for these kids that they want me to take out of here, because this place is a wonderful place. I mean, teaching them the right way.
And
he goes ahead and helps put the horses together so they're not like wasting too much time.
Yeah, the private you're talking to just kind of shrugs and says, "Well, I don't know, they just seem kind of sad most of the time, but maybe that's me. I don't know much about anything. Kind of feel bad for them, but I know the Nancy, the secretary, apparently she plans on adopting one of them, and I guess she feels bad for him too."
Helping out her fellow man. Well, I'll tell you what, Private. You have yourself a good night. We'll see you again tomorrow.
And he nods and says, Of course. I'll see you tomorrow." And he gives you a salute.
Good night. Returns it, hops on the horse, motions for Laz to come, and they leave.
Did you actually salute? I think I heard you salute.
Oh, you're asking if I actually
Yeah, I was
saluted?
asking.
Oh, um,
Yeah, because it sounded like you put your hand down after.
um, yeah. So usually during our games, whenever I'm talking or doing anything, I gesture
No, I just
everything.
had a feeling. That's all.
Yeah.
It's all right.
He saluted.
I did it too.
You guys gestured. I have emotions. We're doing pretty well for ourselves.
All right, so they. Oh, Laz is typing. We'll let him go first.
That's how you be sure you're in character. Yeah, that's true, Laz.
Okay, so they ride around.
Yeah, and as you're riding on your way out, you do see that they have a few more horses, and they also have some wagons too, like
Mhm.
the kind of pioneer style like covered wagons have like U.S. Army on the side.
Yep.
Yeah, you ride out, and then once you're out of sight, head off the road and around back over to the camp in the trees. And when you rejoin everybody, you see Icewind, the Wendigo pack leader of the Icestalkers. He looks like he's on edge. Like he's pacing around back and forth, and he looks more than a little irritated and impatient. And Red Cloud and Stoneheart also look uneasy, like they have a fair bit of rage bubbling inside of them. And over the last hour or so that you've been down in the boarding school compound, they've just been kind of pacing back and forth, trying and just doing things around camp, trying to keep themselves busy since they're so close to their objective. Uh, Melting Snow she's not her usual like chipper self, but she looks determined and looks like she's trying to kind of clear her mind of any potential distractions, and she's readying herself for a fight or a potential fight. And as the two of you come back with the horses, Icewind breaks off from his constant pacing and walks over to you at a pretty steady pace and says, "Well, what did you find out?"
He walks in with Laz, goes to the camp, sits down, pulls out his stuff, and starts to get the dinner that they hopefully had cooked. He looks at the guy and says, "If we were going to get ready for a fight, don't you think you should have rested instead of standing around walking constantly?"
And he doesn't look too happy that you said that, and he looks tense, and well, the rest of his pack also looks tense, but he especially looks tense. And
What rank is he?
he is a Fostern.
So they're the same rank.
Yeah, they're the same rank, but I'd say in this situation, since he volunteered to go with you, he's kind of looking to you for leadership. But yeah,
Well, this is Adrian's challenge. He was nice enough to let them come along,
yeah, that's true.
kind of deal. But Adrian's not doing it. He's not doing the military thing like I'm in charge. Leave me alone,
Yeah,
bitch. You know, that was different. That was army. You can scare a private stupid, but he's not going to do that with a fellow group. It's different. He just motions to the fire, basically saying, "Come on, sit down, relax, and I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do.
and he does take a
Everybody, come on over
he does
while
take
I eat."
yeah, he does take a
Mhm.
deep breath and give a nod, and he sits down by the fire and motions for the rest of his pack to do so. And Melting Snow, sitting underneath a tree, she scoots over to the fire as well.
He takes a few bites of food, sets it aside, moves himself out so he's got the fire. He's got a fair amount of dirt between him and the fire. He grabs a stick and he starts to make as accurate of a map as he can of the entire place. I'm gonna assume that it's pretty accurate. He does have the merit eidetic memory.
I had to help Lissa set up her monitor again. She put it into a secondary HDMI port instead of the primary, So it was just like, oh, not getting a signal, even though it could tell that something was connected. Took us a while to find that primary HDMI port, but she's got her computer all set up now.
That's good.
I can't tell if Laz is back. So basically, what Adrian's gonna do while he eats dinner is he's just gonna make a map of the place in the dirt. There was only one entrance, you said?
Yeah, there's one entrance.
Whew, they made it so easy. So he's gonna show him the entrance. He's gonna tell him exactly what every single building is. He's going to inform them that there is a female there and that she is not to be touched. I mean, after all, they did say that she wanted to adopt one and she wants them to have a better life. He's going to say, I don't know for sure, but I am relatively sure that there are no guru there, not in the military. And if they are, it's a fluke that they're there, and they probably, if they are guru, unless they're spirals, they're not going to fuck with us. So,
Is there anybody else that we should or shouldn't touch?
they have doctors there. I'm not sure if we should fuck with the doctors. Even if they are military doctors, one thing you've got to understand is, in this point in time, they are non-combatants. They will not pick up a gun. They won't shoot at you. And if they do, they fuck themselves, because I will never tell you not to defend yourself. Welcome back, Laz.
Oh, I'm assuming that we're gonna stage the attack tonight then.
Yeah, I tried to get them to let me leave with them,
Mm-hmm.
but they want their paperwork correct, so I got them to hold off, but they're gonna send a telegram in the morning, so we've got to move tonight.
That's fair.
So here's what we're looking at. We've got a school, we've got the doctors, you probably shouldn't fuck with them. We've got the woman, the secretary, she cares about these kids, she doesn't want them mistreated. Captain seemed like a nice guy. It sucks that we're going to probably have to kill him, but that's just the way it is. And there should be 12 other soldiers there guarding the place. There's only one entrance, and they only had 2 guards at it, so the rest of them are probably just off doing whatever, probably going to be asleep around midnight. So we take it easy, and when the time comes, we murder and mayhem.
Understood.
And Icewind gives a nod, and he speaks up and says, my pack and melting snow can find the children. And he adds, I believe last was able to sense one Garu somewhere. The 4 of you could go find them while we gather up the kinfolk.
Is it possible that the guru that last sensed, is it possible it could be one of the kids?
It's possible, but my first change would leave a trail of bodies and blood. If one of the Garus sent here years ago is still here, they're either being held captive and tortured or something worse.
Well, our mission is to get the kids and bring them home. So what we do is, I like that you guys are going to go find the kids. Great, familiar face. One of the things that I want Laz and Heath to do is start grabbing the horses. Once the guards are taken care of, you guys grab the horses from here. He's showing on the map again. You grab the horses from here and start hooking them up to the wagons that are right here. This is how we're going to get the kids out of here. We can't bring them into the Umbra, so we're going to drive south as fast as we can in those things, and I guess we're just going to have to take all the kids. There's going to be like 200 kids.
A lot of kids, and
well, what are you going to do? You're going to take the Wapiti kids and then tell the rest of them, oh, hey, we killed all the people in charge, so why don't you just stay here?
I didn't mean that. I meant that. Is there any other military, anything close by, that might impede our progress?
Yeah, there's a base.
How far?
They won't know until at least the afternoon. They might not even know that these people got hit. If we can kill all the guards, they might not even know until the end of the month when they do their switch out. I don't know when they're going to switch out.
But you still want us to leave alive the doctors and the woman. Am I correct with that assumption?
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to give us a problem, I guess we can kill them, but I really don't. If they're non-combatants,
We'll at least have to at least knock them out. Otherwise, if there's a chance for them to escape during the assault, it might be a worst case scenario.
did one of the Uktena or the Wendigo say that?
Oh
I'm
no,
asking Thomas.
no. I was making a joke. I was making a joke out of character. That's why I put it in parentheses.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure.
So
I mean, I'm kind of on the.
it's just what it's what it sounded like Adrian was saying. I was making a joke.
Well, they'll know that they were there, and they'll probably be able to track them fairly well. But shit, oh man, the extra kids—that's the problem.
Yeah, because like I don't. It's not that I'm saying just to leave the rest of the kids and just leave with the ones that we're supposed to leave. Get. It's the fact that we're to get all the way back to a reservation. It's gonna take a long, long time without being in the Umbra. And if those doctors and that woman, Bill, basically even that same morning, we're gonna have a hot trail all the way back to a reservation and even past that. And yes, we can go and massacre every single person there, but that will still remain.
Actually, I'm gonna step in and say let's retcon and say there's like 100 kids here. I think I said 20 of
Yeah,
them
I was
were.
about to ask how many.
Yeah, I think I said that 20 of them were kinfolk to the reservation. The rest you don't know if they're kinfolk or not. But you could probably drop them off at another reservation or somewhere along the way and make it a little bit
That's
easier.
kind of the thought. Hell, if they're mostly say, I guess Oklahoma, most of them be Cherokee, right?
I
think so.
Yeah, Oklahoma's Cherokee.
Either Cherokee or Sioux. No, Sioux would be Dakotas.
Let's just go with
Kinda
Cherokees.
better, yeah.
Anyways, they'd most likely be Cherokee. So the chances of finding 2, 3, maybe even 4 that are 17, I mean, they brought that up. So, or the 18-year-olds, then that's kind of a good thing, because then they can start going away, and as soon as they know they're not followed, Adrian can tell the other ones, keep the carts. Here's $100 if you guys need to buy food. Go home. It's that way, you know.
mhm.
And he can tell them to just go. You're free again.
My only last concern about this plan is what happened to the others that came before us.
See, that's what I was
That's why.
wondering.
Because if what we sensed was one single guru, that begs the question.
They brought that up too. That's why they have walls now. I think that before this they had more guards, less wall, and even the big badass guru can't handle that many bullets coming at one time. I think that's what happened to them. They didn't go in. They didn't do what Laz and I just did, which is to go in and see if everything is, where everything's at, and get a lay of the land. I think they just attacked, and the army was ready for them. Keep in mind, their captain has been fighting in wars. He was in the Civil War. He has won medals. He could be difficult to take down even for us. We need the middle of the night, and we need surprises. And if they weren't ready for that kind of military mind, that could be what happened to the ones before us.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Well, I guess we'll wait until the stroke of night till we get the assault.
He looks to the other. Oh my God! Why can't I remember a name today?
Melting Sound?
I'm gonna find this.
Wendigo?
Yeah, the Wendigo. I'm trying to remember his name. Icewind.
Yep, that's his name.
Is that okay with you? Does this plan work out with you?
And he nods and says, "Yes, it works."
He thinks for a little bit longer. He takes a drink of his whatever he's drinking right now and says, I don't like this. I don't really like to say this, but if we can't find a way to subdue the woman and the doctors, we're gonna have to kill him.
Yeah, that is without a question. Unless there's a spell that we can use or gift.
Can't say I agree with that. But
What?
killing the woman? Unless she becomes a threat, of course, but I ain't doing it.
Always another option too. Don't kill the doctors or the woman. Tie them up, gag them, throw them in the back of a wagon. They can't tell anybody where we went, which way we went, if they went with us. We'll set them free down the road.
Alright.
Fine. Any other things that we should know about before this?
And Icewind speaks up and says, "Red Cloud and I have a gift where we can make a reflection of ourselves. We can use that as a distraction."
Have them point in the wrong direction at first, and then we come up behind them and kill them. Not as much honor.
Useful.
And to be
I don't
fair,
need honor.
they started this first by taking the kinfolk.
Correct.
And when you mention there's little honor in it, Icewind speaks up and says, yeah, he says there's little honor in taking children, and my people have seen worse deeds done ever since the white man came to these lands. A distraction is nothing compared to what my people have endured.
Honor, I want you to listen to me carefully now, okay, my friend? Honor is not something you have as long as your enemy has it. Honor is something you either have or do not have. What your enemy does to you doesn't matter. What matters is your actions. We don't pick and choose when we have honor. We either have it or we don't. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, isn't there a saying about that? Eye for an eye, world goes blind or something?
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's a slippery slope. Take it from a Shadow Lord. The moment you become a person with no honor, you have no honor. There's no coming back from that.
Icewind nods and he says, I understand.
I respect you. I respect you, tribe, and I respect your auspice. But I have to play the Philodox all the way through. A man with no honor is a man that never has honor. You know, it does no good to become a spiral so you can defeat the spirals, because then you are. But that's a question. That's a conversation for a moot. Tonight it's gonna be more about the blood and the bullets. I'm sure everybody can agree on that.
Or I don't mind becoming a dope for these people.
The Icestalkers and Melting Snow all nod.
So my advice is get some rest, save your energy, prepare yourself, and for Christ's sake, can we all please just live so I can get my damn rank?
Can't promise anything.
Yep.
All right, Laz, Heath, Isaac, I have not given you all permission to die, therefore you cannot. I am your alpha. Respect the alpha, please, pretty please. I will give you large sums of money if this needs to be.
No, you can't buy me money. I have my own.
There. I
How
don't
much
have
do
any
you
use for
have?
I
money. Oh boy, here we go, the dick measure contest.
I'm just curious. I've been curious.
well, let's say that I have enough to last me probably a few lifetimes.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you liquidated everything right now, if trouble started to happen and we needed a large sum of money and you started liquidating, how much would you be worth?
Okay, this is an out of character because I actually don't know what this means in the dots. So I have 4 dots in resources.
Mhm.
So I don't know how much that means in terms of like
I
actual
believe
wealth.
it's around $500,000.
Is it really?
Let me check.
Yeah, because I will answer this question, but I just don't know what that means like in character. Because out of character, so yes, I have 4 dots in resources. I am filthy rich. I don't know what that means. Like I say, I have wealth, but I don't know what that means in
Okay.
actual like monetary gain.
Let's take
He
a look
also
here.
could be asking you this so he can rob you. You never know.
Which honestly, like Heath doesn't care. Doesn't care enough about money anymore.
Well, the little Wild West PDF book that I have for the edition we're playing in says 4 dots is they describe it as well off. You own a ranch or perhaps a country manor in fair repair. So you're rich.
Okay.
Nice.
So with that taken account, let's see.
Probably a few $100,000.
Yes, whatever that means in back in the day. So I'm just gonna eyeball and says if I liquid every resource that I have, sell some of the business that I have, maybe around 600, give or take. Maybe a few over, maybe a few under.
Well, good.
Do you want it?
Huh?
I mean, I don't care enough for it. Do you want?
Oh, I don't need it.
I mean, I've seen your manner. You don't need it. I know that.
No, if I
but-
liquidated everything today, I'd be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.28
That's
million.
a lawyer for you.
Oh, it's not even a lawyer. I don't actually have I have the law degree. I just don't have a thing. I mean, yeah, I own a
It's
silver
daddy's money.
mine. No, Daddy don't live. Daddy doesn't exist anymore. He
Yeah,
doesn't
the
even have
money
a
came
name.
from somewhere.
It started from somewhere.
It was daddy's money.
Well,
Well,
Now it's your money.
Okay,
I just looked up the inflation.
Uh-huh.
$600 back then would be around 20 grand today.
Great.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, going by the resources in the Wild West thing, I have 5 dots. It says fantastically rich. You're a millionaire in a time when $1 million is largely a foreign concept. That's all it says.
yeah, for me, I'm just well off. I have a ranch and something. So
I know.
I'm
I
pretty.
like you. You're
Yeah,
way
it's
well
like
off.
I just like melting resources. Probably a few thousand, a few like a thousand. Not sure how much back then.
Probably a little bit over $100,000, which is
Million
like
millionaire back then.
it's pretty much a
Christ.
millionaire.
But yes. So yes, he just throws out a number that's appropriate to the situation.
Meanwhile, I
It's
have
like, well,
0.
that's. Hey, I mean, he'd worked tooth and nail to get that money.
Hey, that's
And
fantastic. Adrian killed his dad.
well, I mean, we all have to get our funds from somewhere. We had to start somewhere. Your dad was just a little bit
My dad was a worm-tainted piece of shit.
I,
I shot him in the face and did the world a favor.
I was about to say he was a disposable income. You could write him as taxes, but yeah, that'll work too.
No, he's dead.
Sure is. But yes,
Before they had me kill him, the tribe actually took his name from him. He's not even a member of my tribe anymore.
just a body.
Everything was taken from. No, he's not even a body. We threw him in the Umbra and just forgot about him. No burial, no nothing.
Huh.
I cannot actually tell you his name. I am not allowed to.
Oh, interesting.
He does not exist. Trust me, when I tell you that there are punishments in this world that are worse than you could ever imagine, that's one of them. You can actually have your name removed from history before they kill you, and you are no longer even a member of your own tribe. It's disgusting. But he deserved it, so I'm okay with it.
But yes, you can't really bribe with money.
That's okay. I can find other ways to bribe you.
Why do I have a feeling that involves blackmail, knowing your God, what's it called, auspice, or is it breed? Shadow Lord. Is it the auspice?
Tribe.
Or the breed? Tribe. Okay. Like
Auspice.
knowing your tribe.
Auspice is what moon sign you were born under. Breed is what you were when you were born, and tribe is tribe.
Okay. So knowing your tribe, why do I have a feeling that involves blackmailing me somehow? If I have any shame, rather.
No, blackmailing you would be too hard.
Why do you say that?
It's just too much to go into.
Oh.
It's too difficult. It's too much homework. It would be a lot easier to drum up fake charges on you and have all your money taken away from you, and then bribe you with money.
I could start my life as an outlaw. I was looking forward to making anyway, the point is, we'll attack tonight, and we'll deal with the doctors and women as needed. Tie them up and just shove them in a wagon and hope. Sorry, I just read Laszlo's comments. Oh God, I'm so sorry, Laszlo. At least you and Isaac has something to be bond on each other over.
We're poor and we're happy.
Which is really good for them, because if you look at it, Isaac and Laz are the two happiest of us.
Yeah.
Whereas Heath and Adrian and myself, not very fucking happy.
I guess it's true that money doesn't buy happiness. Who knew?
But at least we were lucky enough to be put into a position where we could truly find out if that was true or not.
I'm not sure that comfort is.
I don't know about
is
call
something
that luck.
Okay, mine was luck. His was hard work.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I love you guys. You guys are great.
All right, I'm gonna move you guys into a map on Roll20 that I kind of threw together really quick. It's basically the layout of this
I hope
school
that-
that I was thinking of.
I'm glad that our conversation gave you time for that.
I also remembered the word I was trying to think of earlier was dormitory.
Oh, okay. Shall we write down what buildings they are?
There we go. And that should cover everything. At least everything major.
Okay.
And then anything not on this little map that I drew up either isn't important enough or it's just so small that it didn't make it to the map.
The only thing that I would want to know, other than what's on there, where's the wagons at? They like
Oh.
right over here?
Yeah, I was thinking around there or probably closer to the front gate.
Or like right in here?
Yeah, I was thinking there.
Okay.
There we go. I'll just plop that there and there.
So we'll see if I can remember this. Actually, where are the barracks for the members of the military that
The-
aren't on guard duty? They've got to sleep somewhere. Is it somewhere? Is that in the main school building? They have their own barracks in there, or
I actually completely forgot about them. We'll just say it's kind of in the back. So like, hold on. Yeah, we'll just say it's in the back over here.
okay? These are all wooden structures or stone structures.
Uh, the wall around it is like stone and brick. Um, the everything else I'd say would be probably either brick or wood. The stables are made out of the wood. Everything else is like brick and stone and probably a little bit of wood too.
Okay. I'm just thinking again, just to make sure I have the right plan out. And you said the walls have barbed wire along the top.
Yes.
All right, here's what I'm thinking, just to be sure. And if anybody disagrees with this plan of attack, tell me now so we can conversate about it. I say, instead of going to the gate, we jump over the back wall. How tall is it?
I want to say good, probably around 8-10 feet.
So for a typical 7-foot, 8-foot, 9-foot tall guru, it's not going to be a problem. If they're in Krynos. Or even not Glabro. Hispo. They could probably mostly jump over the wall. Adrian and Melting Snow be the only two that can't make it, probably.
Well,
So I say we jump over the back wall.
Well, Melting Snow and Red Cloud are both lupus. They have hair's leap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Adrian's the only one that's going to have trouble. It's not like barbed wire is going to hurt him enough. He'll just heal it up the next round anyway. So I say they jump over the wall behind the barracks. They raid the barracks, the soldiers' barracks, kill all the ones that are sleeping, and that will get them to jump on that and lock them away from their weapons. Because if the enemies are near the weapons, then they're not going to be able to do much. They're only going to have enough weapons for the roving guards and the guards at the front gate. At that point,
Okay.
the Uktena and Wendigo are going to split up. Half of them go to the boys' dormitory. The other half go to the girls' dormitory. Laz and Heath will go to the stables. Whoever meets the roving guard, be it the Uktena, Laz, or Heath, whoever meets them, kills them. Try and keep it as quiet as possible. Start pulling the horses out of the stables, or should everybody rush to the gate and kill the gate guards too?
We could probably take care of that.
And at that point, Isaac and Adrian, as everybody gets the kids together, Isaac and Adrian go try and find the one guru that they can sense inside that place. But yeah, we're going to want to start hooking up the horses as fast as possible and getting the kids, any of the kids that are old enough to help get the other kids into the wagons and start hitching the horses to the wagons as well. Basically, we're going to run in. We are going to decimate everything we can, kidnap anybody that doesn't want to fight. No, we're all starting at the same place, Laz. We all jump over the wall behind the soldiers' barracks. We all run into the soldiers' barracks and get rid of the vast majority of the soldiers while they're in their rooms asleep. From there, we then we split up. Yeah, the front gate, that's... If we could, I'd like to leave it until we're leaving, but they're going to know that something's wrong. So you and Heath are going to go to the stables. You're probably going to... Do you guys think that... Laz and Heath, do you guys think you can take out 2 gate guards or more? They might beef it up at night. They might put 4 guys there.
I could take care of them.
I mean, I can have Icewind go with you 2. I'm sure Icewind would love to meet the gate guards.
Might be for the best, especially since if we're trying to take care of a large majority of their other forces head on first, and it'll give Icewind a chance to get acquainted with the guards more than I do. Is that acceptable to you?
And Icewind gives a nod and says, more than acceptable.
Then I guess.
Actually,
Icewind.
this is how we're going to do it. We're going to go in, kill the guards in the gate house. We're going to cut around in a circle. We're going to drop off a couple people at the girls' we're going to drop off a couple people at the girls' dormitory. The medical wing should be shut. The doctors might be in the soldiers' barracks, so we might be taking care of them at the same time. But we'll cut around in a circle following the gate. Basically, we'll cut around the medical wing. We'll drop off a person or two at the girls' dormitory and have them start getting ready to run. We'll cut around to the gate, get the gate guards, all of us, cut into the stables. That's when Heath and Laz will cut into the stables and start getting the horses ready. Isaac and I will go into the main building and see if we can find the other Guru, get any other stragglers, and the remaining people will go to the boys' dormitory and start getting the boys ready to go and into the wagons and helping get the wagons ready. We all convene at the wagons once we are all back. We cut out through the front gate and we go.
Okay.
No, form won't matter because you have smell of man, but I would suggest once you go to the horses, once we get to the horses, I'm pretty sure by that point all the soldiers will be dead. You can do it in Hamid and the horses shouldn't freak out. Neither will the kids. Keep in mind that some of these kids might not be kinfolk, and therefore some of these kids will freak out if they see us shifted.
Right.
So the people that go into the barracks and the people that have the kids there when they're there do not shift anymore once the kids are around. We will get them, once we get them far enough away and we can tell the ones that are not kinfolk where they are, we can send them off and then we can shift again to help protect the kinfolk. I think that during the trip, when we take it, we will have melting snow. Let me see this again. Icestalkers. We will have Red Cloud, melting snow, and Isaac as wolves around the wagons. And of course, Laz will drive a wagon. Heath will drive a wagon. I will drive a wagon. If Icewind can and if Stoneheart can, that would be great. Then we should have enough people to drive the wagons to keep them safe. And of course, any guns that are inside the soldiers' barracks, take them. Any of the children, the older children that can use guns, we're going to arm them, and we're going to do this as fast and as safe as possible. Any questions?
The question I have is when we start.
Stoneheart is gonna speak up and say, I don't have any questions, but just one thing to remember, that since we know that there are Banes somewhere in those buildings, if we start taking their food source away, it's possible they might materialize in the physical, if they're powerful enough to. But if we go into the Umbra, just
Are you ready for that?
be careful. Well, I'm
I
ready.
have no problem with that. I thank you. Sometimes I forget that the Banes can step on over. If it happens, if anybody sees any Bane activity or anything that seems more of our speed, give 2 quick howls and the rest of us will know to come to your location. This is the most planning we can do. I can't have a contingency for everything. It's impossible. I don't have enough time to plan it all out.
And everybody nods.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ready?
That's ready to blow everybody.
Keep in mind, tonight we're attacking the U.S. Army. We are now becoming enemies to our own country.
Always wanted to commit treason.
This is what they get for stealing our friends' kids. I mean, we didn't have to be enemies to our country. Our country made us into the enemies. All right, everybody, get some rest. In about 4 hours, we go. From there, they take a quick rest and get ready to go before they start packing up, put out the fire and everything, and hopefully mentally get themselves prepared for death.
All right, and as the group breaks camp and the 8 of you start to head down the hill out of the trees and towards the back of the compound, Melting Snow and Red Cloud both shift into lupus, and they activate their gifts and they do a massive running leap as they jump up, arch over the barbed wire, and almost land on top of the roof of the barracks. Red Cloud makes it, but Melting Snow almost fumbles over the edge, but she picks herself back up again. And both Stoneheart and Icewind, they shift into Glabro as they basically climb up on top of each other and help each other over the wall. And for the rest of you, barbed wire isn't going to do anything to you outside of Hamid. So how would you guys like to climb over the wall?
Adrian just shifts to Krynos, basically puts his hand on the barbed wire and kind of does a scramble up and over, just using his hand to push it down into the top of the wall so he doesn't get caught going over.
Isaac would probably be using his jacket to cover it before climbing.
Turn to Krynos and just take a few steps back and then just jump over it. Whether or not he gets caught, he doesn't care enough for it.
Okay. Yes, you can. You can Krynos jump. Just keep in mind, in Krynos, you are very heavy, and you're probably either you could potentially break something, or you'll make a very loud thud. You could do that. Hispo is basically like a dire wolf, so yeah, you could try to jump over in Hispo. Let's see. But yeah, for climbing over or jumping over the wall, let's do a dexterity and athletics roll. Since it sounds like everybody's shifting out of their Hamid form, I'm going to say the barbed wire isn't going to hurt you that much, or at all.
Well, everybody does athletics.
Yeah,
Make sure you hit the button to change your form, and then athletics and dexterity, you say?
Yes.
Ugh, I have no athletics.
Did it?
And I still did good.
All right. Oh yeah, it's going to be a difficulty 6 too, so standard difficulty. All right, so Heath, did you say Heath was climbing over the wall, right?
Oh no, he jumped over the wall.
Okay.
No, Adrian was scrambling, climbing.
Yeah, Isaac is too.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Yes. Dexterity and athletics.
I don't know if it's actually going to go through right. I fall on my ass, apparently.
All right. Oh yeah. Well, good news is it isn't a botch. All right. So Heath and Laz jump over the wall. Okay. Adrian barely has any trouble climbing over on top of it. Just scrambling up and over. Isaac, you start scrambling up and over it. And then you basically twist your body to kind of move your legs up and over the wall, and then just as Adrian lets go of the barbed wire once he climbs over it in Krynos, the wire bounces back and you get tangled up in it.
As soon as he gets tangled up, Adrian quickly goes over and starts to lift him and try and help him off of it.
Going to shift to Lupus.
Since they're right there.
Yeah, you just shift to Lupus to, loosen it up and drop down if you can.
For them, I thought he was going to go over there and try to pull him out of there. Straight pull.
Just yank.
Just
A
yank.
barbed wire.
No.
No,
He's fine.
He would definitely shift to Lupus to see if you can get out of it.
The first time, were you trying to climb over it in Hamid, or?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you get tangled up, and the barbed wire cuts into you, but then you shift into Lupus, and the changing shape of your body kind of almost makes it a little bit worse, but you manage to wiggle and loosen up your way through, and the cuts that you had gotten while you were in Hamid heal up really quickly since you're on Lupus now.
That was the point. Definitely. He just grabs his jacket and then starts trotting off. Obviously annoyed.
Very graceful. All right, wait. He's falling. Like whisper. We got a whisper.
Okay, so the idea is to convene right here once everybody makes it over without any issue, and then they're going to just go around to the entrance of the barracks, and Adrian's staying Krynos. He's going to keep an eye out for the guard, and once they have an opening, they're just all going to rush into the barracks.
Okay. Yeah, and you see the lantern light of one of the the evening patrols pass by as they come around the medical wing and walk past the barracks. And so far, there's no issues, and he just walks on by, and then the coast is clear, and uh, Red Cloud starts to hug the wall in his lupus form as he kind of goes around the corner very slowly and keeps an eye out as he starts moving towards the door.
As long as nothing goes wrong, they should all be able to run in and hopefully just murder everybody. As fucked up as that is.
It sure is. Now,
Okay, and then Red Cloud is gonna make the roll to do open seal, and then he actually fails. Like he goes around the corner, kind of moves himself upright in his lupus form as he tries to kind of push the door and activate his gift. But nothing happens, and the door is still locked. And you can see he looks a little irritated. But yeah, he's having some issues opening the door, and he looks over to Isaac, his fellow Ragabash.
Isaac heads over and where is it? Because I know I have it. Touches his nose to it to do open seal.
Yeah, so it's not sealed with magic, so you don't have to spend a point of gnosis. You just have to make a gnosis roll, difficulty 8.
Yeah. Oh Jesus! I'm gonna toss a little power into that. Because obviously I'm not gonna be rolling very nicely tonight. What? No, difficulty 8. Oh hey, there we go.
There you go, 2 crits as you just open it.
He moves back to let them open the door.
All right, and then Red Cloud opens the door and takes point as he goes in first, and then everybody else follows in. And Icewind keeps watch in the back of the group, keeping an eye out for any more guards. And then he just closes the door once everybody's inside.
Okay, they all go in, super quiet.
crouch down a little bit, but yeah.
Is it where is the doorway? Is it in the middle of the thing here? Is it on one of the ends?
I was thinking the armory door is on one of the ends, and then there's probably another door on the inside that opens up into a hallway that leads into the barracks itself.
Well, they're in the armory.
Oh yeah. So the door to the armory is on the end right here, and then the barracks door is kind of in the middle on the other side towards facing the school.
Oh, so there's no way to get to the armory from inside the barracks.
Hold on.
That's good. These guys won't have any guns.
That's I was trying to say before there was a door leading into the barracks, but the way you were talking made it sound like that wouldn't work, or that wouldn't.
No, there's a... Well, okay, what I'm saying is do you have to go through the armory to get into the barracks?
No, you don't.
So there's a door from the barracks to the armory?
Yes.
Okay, I heard that wrong. So will there be sleeping people between them and the armory?
No, because you opened the door into the armory.
Because the armory's... So we have to go through the armory to get into the barracks.
Yes. Let's go with that because I'm starting to confuse myself.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
So he just whispers quietly once they're all in. He just says, melting snow for right now. Stay in the door of the armory. Do not let anybody that isn't us through. This way, none of the guys in there are going to be armed.
And Melting Snow gives a nod, and she says, "Okay, I'll keep watch."
Perfect. So they all go through, and then they test the door for the barracks. See if that's locked.
Yeah, it's the way I'm picturing it. I feel like the door to the armory would be locked.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and have Red Cloud roll to open seal again, and this time they make it as they push the door open.
Awesome. Slowly, carefully, they all start going into the barracks. All Adrian can think of is, holy shit, this is fucked up. But they're in it now. So the big thing is to figure out how many people are actually in here. Do they have their own separate rooms? Is it a great big area where they all have cots?
I'd say it's a great big area where they all have cots. And like between the armory and the barracks is like a kind of a is a hallway that kind of partially kind of goes around. But yeah, the barracks itself is a large room of about 12 or so bunks, and I'd say inside you see most of them are sleeping, but there's three people awake as they're on probably the far south side of the barracks, playing poker around a table by lantern light.
A damn fire watch. Well, they slowly just kind of saunter in. Adrian's still in Krynos, so he kind of just stops, looks at the dudes playing poker, and then he just points at them and makes a have at it, go kill him kind of look. Kind of let the Native Americans get their revenge, you know. Isaac can too. Hell, I'm sure Isaac's pretty pissed at him too. Go fuck up the army, you guys. Go ahead, just do whatever you want.
All right, so I'm gonna say against the Icestalkers and Isaac, if Isaac wants to join in, they don't stand they just don't stand a chance at all. Like they realize you're all in here, and then they see Adrian and Heath and Krynos, and the soldiers just start screaming. Some of them try to run away. One of them tries to scramble towards the armory, but gets cut off, and it's just it's a massacre,
Bloodbath.
a bloodbath. Yeah.
Here I thought we were gonna have a clean kill.
Adrian does seem kind of uncomfortable with it, but well, in for a penny, in for a pound, right?
Wait to turn back now.
Yeah. Once he realized that there was no way that the guy was going to actually let him take the kids without like better written approval, he knew they had to die. So bloodbath it is.
Sir,
But he just can't bring himself to actually take part of that.
he himself didn't feel to take a part of it, mostly because it wasn't his right to basically murder all of them. It was someone else's right. So he just stood by the door, just in case anybody tried to escape, but he didn't move a muscle. Still crouched down, try to hunch back the Notre Dame because he's huge.
All right, so once the bloodbath's done, they all get back together, and he goes over it again. Okay, we're going to go around the medical wing, over this way to the girls' dormitory, and I want whoever's going to split off to do that, and then we'll cut around and we'll get the gate guards, do the stables, the boys' dormitory, and then Isaac, can you still sense the guru that's here? Is it actually here?
Let's see. I think that was the one that was named, wasn't it? Hold on.
Oh yeah, the Garu that was named is Chaska, and their deed name is Walks Across Stars. And
let's see. Oh, go ahead.
I can remember if you have to make a roll or not.
No, that's if they're actively hiding. Then I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're not actively hiding, so I'd say it was a stronger sense when you were in the Umbra, but you still get that sense of where they are in the physical, and it's pointing you towards the medical wing.
Okay. Yeah, he would nudge his nose off in that direction and start heading that way.
Okay, yeah, so they're going to just do like a big circle, take out the roaming guard, take out the gate guards. Even with them being armed against Guru, it's going to be hard for them to do anything. But I guess Adrian and Isaac will go to the medical wing to see if they can find the Guru.
All right. So I'll narrate a little bit, and then we'll split off into Isaac and Adrian, and then Laz and Heath. So as the group kind of goes around clockwise, following the perimeter of the compound, Melting Snow and Stoneheart split off to go into the girls' dormitory. And then as the group goes around towards the front gate, that is when Icewind and Red Cloud shift into Glabro, and they activate the Ice Echo gift, which basically makes a mirrored image of themselves. And they place the mirrored image outside of the gate, and as soon as the guards see the reflections and are distracted, that's when the two of them will basically pounce on top of both of them and take them out. And then that opens the way for Laz and Heath to head towards the stables.
Come on, Les. Let's go get the characters ready.
Yep, that's around the right side of the wall. It's just past the gate. So, Laz, the two of you are heading south towards the gate, or heading south towards the stables and past the gate.
This way. Okay.
All right, and then does Heath want to activate any gifts? I'm gonna say you see the lantern light of probably a guard or two over by the stables.
Okay. What gifts can I activate that will help in the situation? Let me take a quick look.
My first thought was razor claws, but it depends on if you want to knock them out or kill them.
That part of kill them is not up to me. That's up to Icewind. Wait, no. Was it Icewind who came with me? Or was
Laz.
Is it,
Laz.
Yeah, Laz is with you.
Oh, okay, so just me and Laz then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought another one was coming with us to the gates and to the stables.
No, the gates are being handled by Icewind and the other
Okay.
one. Before they go to the boys' dormitory, you guys get the stables
Okay.
alone.
So Keith is gonna shift from out of Krynos and into Galabro to more humanoid. And once he gets close enough, he's gonna try to activate where is it? Falling touch. There you go. That's where it is. So I need to write these abilities so I can just copy paste them. I don't know how, but 1,000 copy paste. That way you can see what it does.
Okay.
So I need to roll dexterity and medicine in order to, once he gets close enough to have contact, he is going to reach out with his claw hand, and touch each one, and basically use the power of the aerial spirits to basically like slam them down to the ground.
Okay.
Let's see, what is my shit? So dexterity 3, medicine 2, and I am okay. So that's 5. So 10d5.
All right. So
And
that's
then so they have to
roll their stamina and athletics.
in athletics.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Difficulty is the opponent's stamina plus athletics.
Oh, okay.
There's
Okay,
no
so
roll.
it's basically
Whatever that number is what the difficulty is.
Okay.
okay.
So yeah, I'd say like
Okay, that makes more sense. All right.
I'd say the difficulty would probably be like 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. So yeah, you get the first guy down as you just give him like the lightest touch, and he just slams down into the ground with and is just sprawled out. And the second one follows suit soon after as just the wind is knocked out of them, and they're both coughing, trying to recover.
Last, I'm gonna ask you, what do you want to do? Because I know what I want to do, but I'm gonna give you a chance to decide for them, or for both of us. All right, that's all I need to hear. Last stop writing. Oh, nope. East. I have a feeling we're gonna have a shitstorm once this is over. And Heath looks down at the two that are sprawled down into the ground thanks to the air spirits, and he just tells them, "Well, boys, you were in the wrong place in the wrong time. I hope you don't take this personal." And with his glaber claws, he just jams them both into their in the backs. Yeah, they're facing downwards, so into their spine, and punches through their hearts, just straight down.
All right. Go ahead and spend a rage to do basically 2 attacks, and then just roll dexterity and brawl for me really quick.
All right, so dexterity and brawl.
We'll say it's difficulty 4 because the gift he used did knock them both down to the ground.
Okay, dexterity and brawl. All right, this exists here, and then eat away one of my little dots. All right, roll my for. Don't need to roll twice, right?
Yes, twice.
Okay, roll 6d10.
All right. So yeah, you don't even have to roll for damages. Like, as you say that, and they're coughing, trying to stand back up again. Like, who the hell are you? And then you just punch through the chest of one, card in hand, as the soldier you just punched through is just left breathless, staring at his heart in your hand, and the second one looks over at him, starts to take in a breath to scream as your other hand punches through and rips out his heart too. And it's messy. And as the two of you, well, as Heath takes care of both soldiers, Icewind and Red Cloud group up with you in the stables, and Icewind gives Heath a grin and chuckles a little bit as he starts to help get some of the horses ready.
And Heath looks at the almost like the last beats of the heart that he has in his hand, and he just, without even saying a word, just crushes them into his hands and lets go of the remains as he basically wipes the blood onto his pants or what counts as pants in this form, and goes to try to help the others with the stables, not looking back at the soldiers. He doesn't feel well doing this, but to do it, and between Laz and himself, he'd rather do it himself.
All right, and then we'll pan the camera over to Adrian and Isaac as the two of you make it into the medical wing. The front doors into the school building I'll say they're unlocked. There's probably somebody still inside on like night duty, or probably a few of the doctors or the captain in his office. So the doors are unlocked in the building, and you're both able to sneak inside. And as you walk into the medical wing, there isn't any checkpoint or door to really stop you, as the appearance of the hallway just basically shifts into something you would probably expect more in a hospital setting. It's more pale white, rather than looking like a school. And well, I'd say it looks sanitized, but it's the 1800s. They had no sanitation. As you do see that there is some griminess to the walls that makes it like a slightly off-white color, and the rooms in here are mostly dark. You probably pass by an office where there's maybe one electrical light on, but whoever's inside the office isn't really keeping an eye out for two people sneaking around. And you pass by the various examination rooms. There's even a very small surgical operating theater, but it doesn't have anybody inside right now. And towards the end of the hallway, close to the back of the building, about the second from the last room down, Isaac, is where your gift tells you the missing Garu is, but it's still that kind of faint sense. Not as strong as it was when you were in the Umbra. And they should be in this room, but you don't see anybody in here.
Go ahead.
In the surgical room, it's where he feels he should be, but it seems he's in the Umbra.
There's like no, like you pass by the surgical room, but there's like one of the like examination rooms where you feel like he should be, but he isn't. Or maybe not examination room, but like in a room where a patient would stay. Brain fart. In one of the rooms where a patient would stay with like a bed and everything, that's where where they should be, but you don't see anybody there.
Yeah, that's weird.
He in the Umbra?
Could be.
It's gonna be dangerous going to the Umbra name.
Could be. Could wait for other two, or
They're gonna be a while if they're getting the horses and the shit.
well, I mean, if he gets away, it's fine. I can just find him again.
I feel like I'm sorry, this is out of character. I feel like I missed something. Is this a bad guy or a good guy? Or do we not know?
I don't think we know.
Well, you guys were told that this Garu was somebody that tried to rescue the kids a few years ago,
Oh,
but he never came back. He's part of the.
he's,
Yeah.
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay. But why is he in the Umbra?
That's what's
Yeah.
weird.
Fuck it, let's go. Yeah, I don't think Laz and Heath are going to be, or the others are going to be ready to go for a while. They've got to get the kids and everything. Yeah, let's go into the, let's go.
Then he will slip sideways if I can remember how to do
I believe it's just a
that.
gnosis.
Find my sheet again. Gnosis. Great. Here we go. Let's see how much I fail. Where is my? There it is. Is 8?
Let's go with 7, so it's less so it's not as
Yep. Nope. I should have spent that willpower like I wanted to. Because I was looking at it.
They're both stuck.
Is it stuck or he just didn't push through at all? I don't remember what a 0 is.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, I can't remember.
Give me just 1 second. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
You're not lying, Laz.
Oh, okay. So it succeeds. Character slips through. Failure means you cannot push through the webs of the location, and you need to move to a new location and try again. On a botch, you get trapped in the web.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but thankfully you guys didn't botch.
So what would happen if you got stuck in the web?
They would be stuck until somebody pulled them out.
Oh.
And when you're stuck in the web, you're basically in between dimensions. So basically you would hear and see things and slowly go insane if somebody didn't find you.
Oh.
To a different spot and actually look for a reflective surface this time.
Yeah, and this time I think I've got more willpower. So Adrian's just, once they find the reflective surface in the different spot, Adrian's just going to grab Isaac's shoulder and he's going to use a willpower and just go.
Okay.
He's going to muscle his way through for both of them.
All right. Yeah, we'll say you guys snuck into probably the front office and found like a hand mirror that somebody owns, and we'll do the next roll at like let's say a difficulty 6 because
difficulty 6. I'm still spending willpower to do it though.
You rolling for the both of us, or I'm rolling too?
Hopefully for the both of us.
Yeah.
There's 3 successes
There we go.
with the spent willpower, which I have to take off now. Okay.
All right. So as you guys step over into the Umbra, the environment around you looks like as if it's falling apart. You step through the webs of the gauntlet, and the building in the Umbra is in bad repair, as it looks like paint is peeling off the walls. You see spider spirits, a few spider spirits scurrying around, still trying to fix things on the inside. And there's even like one or two rust spiders that are just falling apart. And there's even one that's trying to repair itself, but it just can't reattach its leg. And another brain fart. The disrepair is just everywhere. Doors are falling apart, or in some doorways there's no doors at all. And it gets even worse as you go into and deeper into the medical wing. And as you step further in, out of the corner of your eyes, you can see, like, in the shadows, it seems like there's shapes moving, and then when you look, there's nothing there. And towards the end of this hallway, you hear somebody crying,
Oh, I think this is gonna be bad.
Wonder what gave you that first clue. Are you sure you don't want to wait for the other two? I mean, we're in here now. Might as well see what's going on.
Yeah, we're gonna go see, but quietly, carefully. Yeah, this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, he's still in limbo, so he's gonna stalk forward to try to sneakily head over and see what that noise is all about.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead and make a dexterity and stealth roll. If I remember right, it's a difficulty 4 for stealth because you guys are an owl pack.
I think it's like difficulty 2 for him though.
Oh.
Checking something real quick. Just for being silent strider. I'm not too worried about it. So, sorry, this is lagging really bad. Come on. Alright, you said dexterity and stealth?
Yep.
Dexterity and stealth. Continue. Okay.
All right.
7 successes, Jesus.
All right, as Isaac, you peek around the corner into this room, and you see this smaller figure. Looks like a young native man as he's curled up in a corner, and he shifts a little bit, and you can see what looks like silver manacles and the fresh raw skin, as it looks like he's tried to break free of these chains, but silver, it's bad. And then you see the large hulking figure over them. It's this tall, large humanoid figure that looks like it's wearing like a pair of like a jumpsuit or a thick pair of overalls, and it has this wooden mask strapped to its face as it holds this large axe, and it's not making any move against the person in the corner. But I'd say in your experience as a Fostern, and probably your dealings with spirits before, the large figure is definitely a Bane, and it looks strong.
He slowly slinks backwards and heads back to Adrian. We have a problem. A big problem. A big Bane-shaped size problem. And a kid chained up in silver. So 2 big problems.
He nods slowly, stands there for a moment, then he motions for Isaac to come along. He turns, and they go back the way they came. I will hopefully drag him across again. I'm not going to make the mistake of not spending another willpower for this, so I'm going to spend another willpower and roll my 3 dice.
All right, you spent that willpower, so well, yeah, the willpower spend is
It's not a botch.
Yeah, it's not a botch. Yeah, it's not a botch.
So it's a failure.
So it's a regular failure, and you kind of bounce back against the gauntlet.
Goddamn electrical fucking lights. Every time I get in a place with goddamn electrical lights, I can't fucking get... Send your owl.
Do them to let them know where we are. That we might be back.
Send your owl... Yeah. Send your owl to Heath and then to Icewind. Tell him to leave Melting Snow, Red Cloud, and Stoneheart. Take care of the kids out there. I need Icewind, Heath, and Laz to come in here. I think the 5 of us should be enough to kill this Bane. I hope. We need to save the groom.
And he does just that. Let's has the owl go off and deliver the message to them.
Hoot.
Hoot hoot. All right, and then
Was that little owl? it's Isaac's stuck in a well.
Well, unless they know spirit speech.
Yeah, basically. That's what.
But
That's basically what he
they
understood.
probably get the point that this is Isaac's little buddy, and they probably should follow it.
Was that little Timmy? Isaac got stuck in a whale.
Al gets
Lead
annoyed
to
and
them.
grabs him by the hair and just starts flying.
Ow! Okay. Ow! Laz, come on. I think the guy needs us. Ow!
Because if push comes to shove, he knows that there are 2 thurges there that would be able to talk to the owl and figure out what the hell's going on. So that's good.
Yeah, we'll say Melting Snow and um, Stoneheart regroup with you guys, and there's not a small number of children following not far behind them as they translate for the owl, and then Red Cloud and Melting Snow go over to the boys' dormitory to get the rest of the children, while Stoneheart helps with the horses and the wagons, and some of the older girls probably also help out. And Icewind follows Heath and Laz into the school building.
Laz, if Isaac sent an owl out to get us, that means that they're in deep, deep trouble, and that's what I'm worried about. And he follows the owl to their destination, wherever that is.
Yeah, the owl flies towards the schoolhouse, towards the school building, and leads you towards the medical wing before it starts to cross over into the Umbra.
Laszlo, if you mind, I'm still not very good at opening portals.
Yep, Gnosis roll.
Give me some je ne sais. Please let it be good.
What?
Je ne sais quoi.
Hey,
All right, Laz. So you cross over with Icewind and Heath, and Isaac's owl flaps its wings, waiting for you, and then goes around the corner and leads you to Isaac and Adrian.
Ow. Your owl hurts sometimes. You know that? So what's wrong?
we have a problem. Big Bean, trapped the guru. Gotta kill this thing. Save the guru. It's trapped in silver though, so keep that in mind. Ow.
That does burn us, right? Okay. Wonderful. The one time that I get it, I fight for a gift and it won't help in the situation. And he just begins to sharpen his claws, and with it, stat-wise, he uses a rage to activate Razor Claws.
Okay. And Icewind is going to do the same thing. He also has the gift.
All things that have to be abandoned in it.
Well, we knew it probably wasn't going to be easy.
Oh, I'm ready as I'll ever be.
All right, and then Icewind is going to spend another rage to shift into Krynos, and he speaks up and says, "Let's get this done then. Since it's just one Bane, we have it outnumbered 5-1."
It's a huge motherfucker, so don't get too cocky. As he's saying that, he's shifting to Krynos too.
Yeah, same. He does the same.
Adrian's been in Krynos the whole time.
Hey, we got a Bane to kill.
Can I actually have like 3 minutes?
Oh, sure.
Right after these messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's something up with my mouth, and it's... Alright, here's the plan of attack. Because one of the caveats is that everybody needs to be alive for me to actually gain rank. What I'd like to do, if this is at all possible, I'll rush in first. I'll do my little thunder trick and see if I can stun the damn thing. While it's stunned, everybody come in and attack except for Isaac. Isaac, you run in, do your little gift, see if you can get those manacles to unlock. If you can get the manacles off that guy, we've got another guru, another very pissed off guru, willing to jump in on the fight maybe. And if he can't, at least he gets a chance to run. So if we need to leave real quick because we can't beat this guy and we have a chance to get away, then at least that objective will be plausible. Sound fair?
Easy enough.
Alright, let's do this then.
So he closes his eyes and he concentrates for a minute, starts getting the Gnosis ready and into his hands for him to clap. And then he kind of just says, fuck it, drops to all fours and runs down the hall and runs into the room, claps his hands hard as he can. Let's see if Clap of Thunder actually works this time.
All right. Go ahead and make the roll. And then I think it has to make a willpower save, right?
Yep, I make no roll.
Oh, okay, no roll. Okay.
Player spends 1 Gnosis point, and all characters within 20 feet must succeed at a willpower roll, difficulty 8 for foes, and difficulty 4 for pack mates, or be stunned and unable to act for 1 turn.
Okay.
And of course, that's up to you. That's why Adrian went into the room first, so he could smack his hands. If the guys are in the hole in the corner, maybe it'll affect them, maybe it won't. I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to say for the purposes of this situation, it does not affect them since you're not trying to target them. And also because I didn't realize I also didn't put his character sheet together, so gonna wing it as far as the stuff that he can do. But as far as the Bane goes, this is what the Bane looks like, basically.
Jason Voorhees.
Yeah,
All right. I'm good with that.
mask and everything. And then what was the difficulty for that willpower save?
8.
8. All right.
Roll shit.
Hold on. I typed the thing in wrong. He did not get 6 successes. He got 1 success.
So he's not stunned.
He is not stunned. But I'm going to say this is basically a surprise round. So everyone else can move in to make an attack.
Adrian's clapping his hands and just gonna rush the dude. He's not gonna just stop. He was just hoping that it would be stunned and wouldn't be hitting anybody.
Okay.
Especially with the machete. But that failed. So hopefully everybody gets their attacks and kills this sumbitch.
We'll definitely try.
You sure will.
Upon hearing the clap, though, Isaac would dart off and not even see just exactly what's going on and attack the Bane slash claws.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make the roll to hit.
I forgot what that is.
X and brawl.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Why does it say difficulty 4? That's weird. Okay, hold on. I'll just do this.
All right. So that looks like 2 successes. So you get a +1 to the damage.
Okay, come on. Sorry, just trying to +1 damage. I don't know if this is actually gonna work right. Oh, it did. Cool.
Cool.
Excuse me.
So 2 successes.
Yeah. So he's gonna use, or I'm gonna use a willpower to make sure it actually lands the hit.
Okay. And then
I'm gonna.
and don't forget you can also spend rage to do extra attacks or actions.
Okay.
Isn't that to split your dice pool, or did they change it?
So if you don't want to spend rage, you do have to split your dice pool. But if you spend a rage for each action you want to take, you don't have to split dice pools.
Oh.
All right. So I will also spend a rage in another willpower. So I'll spend 2 willpower for each attack.
Okay.
And, what's his difficulty? Is it normal 6?
Yep, just normal 6.
Okay. So because of Razor Claws, it goes down to 5. Okay, I gotta fucking roll this. Let's see if this one works. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 9 successes. So 10 with the willpower for the first one.
Yep. So that would be a +9 to the damage, I believe.
And I'm gonna roll the second attack as well, just to do the damage together.
Okay.
So the second attack with his other claw, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's still 5. So with the other willpower, it's still 5 that roll over.
Right.
So the damage for the first one, I'll add the 9 successes. And then the second one, I'll add 5 extra successes. So together, 16. Actually, no. Yeah, 16. That's correct. So 16 damage rolls.
All right.
So he's as soon as Adrian does his thunderclap, he just rushes in and moves past Adrian and just begin to use both claws and slash into him.
All right, awesome. So I'm gonna look something up really quick for Icewind. Laz, would you like to go ahead and roll for whatever you would like to do?
Yeah, it's doing it again. But don't worry about it.
Yes, you can spend a rage to bite and claw. It's like your first attack would be the bite, and then you spend a rage and get the second attack to claw. Alright, 2 successes on I assume the bite, so you get an extra point of damage on the damage roll. And then that's 3 successes on the claw, so you get 2 extra damage for the claw. Alright, let me count that up really quick. Alright, so Laszlo, you deal the the final blow on this Bane as everybody rushes in and they wear it down. Heath gets a good claw slash in and tears a chunk out of it, and then you go in for the final kill with that bite, and then your last claw just finishes it off as the Bane starts to just, its knees start to buckle as it collapses down, and the mask on its face starts to shake, and out of it you hear just the anguished cries and screams of just the abuse and suffering that has happened in this place. And then it starts to crumple as its essence loses power and starts to lose its form in the Umbra. And the person that's in the corner of the room, chained to the wall with silver chains, they curl up even more, trying to hide in the corner, and just, it's as if they're trying to become as small as possible so that you don't see them.
Seeing that it fell when it did, he looks at the guy hiding in the corner, and then he motions for Icewind to go to him. Probably wouldn't actually know each other, but it would still be a more familiar face, so...
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that actually hurt. Oh, God.
You're lucky it didn't get its hands on you before it died.
That's why I pushed beyond my limits. Tried to not get to that point.
You are a very effective individual, let me tell you. Isaac, can you get those chains?
He heads over and does the mojo that he does. Forgot, it was Gnosis, wasn't it?
Yes. Yep.
I think it's the -1 side, the Umbra, isn't it? Could be wrong. Wait, what is... Well, I don't know. I'll just roll it. I have to find my sheet. Sorry.
Kind of rate this. They ain't rusty, they're pure silvers. They're still shiny, probably.
All right, 2 successes as you unlock the chains and the manacles snap open, and Icewind shifts out of Krynos into his Homid form and kneels down beside the person that's been in the corner, and he gives just like the smallest touch, and the captive just winces. And now that the manacles are off, you can see like how deep they've dug into the skin, and you can see the scars from just a long series of escape attempts to shift out and break out of the chains, and the scars on this person's body as they've just clearly have endured years of torment here. And Icewind, you can see he's trying to speak softly and reassuringly, but the Garu curled up in the corner just does not move. Does not move. And like any movement that they can see in their little corner, or even the slightest touch, just makes them wince and pull away. And that's when, probably after a few tries to nudge this Garu and tell them that you're all here to rescue them, and they still refuse to move, that's when Icewind looks over to the 4 of you and says, I think we're going to have to carry him out.
And as soon as he says that, he's still his Krynos. No matter how much the other fights, he just kind of pick him up and just bound him close to him.
Yeah, Heath, you take him. Laz, let's go back to the shiny object. Can you get us all through there again?
And Heath, as you pick him up, you get no resistance. He just goes dead weight in your arms. And I'll say before, like, you could all see, like, Icewind was, like, the rage was bubbling up, and he was eager to go in for a fight, and letting that rage kind of give him energy to press on. But now it's clear to see he looks heartbroken seeing this Garu in the shape that he's in. But as Laz starts to lead the way to the mirror and open the way, Icewind sets his feelings aside and focuses on the mission at hand. And as the five of you step into the hallway on the path back to the reflective object that you used to cross over, you see another one of these banes. And Icewind nudges his way to the front as he shifts into Krynos, and he says, "We've shaken up the hornet's nest. You go take him, cross into the Umbra, and get out of here. I'll make sure this one doesn't get in the way, and I'll follow you."
Adrian turns to Heath and holds out his arms for the guy. And
And
just says, "You gonna let that outrun fight alone?"
no, stupid as it sounds, no.
I didn't think so. So Adrian takes over carrying. Adrian, like I said, still in Krynos, so he's actually strong enough to carry a person finally. And so he's gonna take the guy. He's gonna look at Heath and Icewind and say, "You guys stay alive. Get back to us. We need you guys with us. Still a long way to go before we get these kids home."
Right. Come on, let's get this over with.
And Icewind gives you a nod as he starts to go into a full Icewind gives you a nod, Heath, as he says, "I'm going to body slam him. See if we can knock him down, pin him down, and finish him off."
As soon as you do, I'll go for the killing blow. We'll prince them in, try to go from flank him in, and as soon as you do, I'll rush in and try and then strike. I will not miss.
And he says, "You better not." And he starts to go into a full Krynos run as he is going to go in for a tackle. And he is going to make that roll. Let's see. So for Spirit, I believe let's see. So give me just a moment. Okay, 6 for the attacker, difficulty 6, and the attacker success for the target. Okay. Alright, so Icewind was supposed to roll first. Alright, so let's see. Dexterity and brawl. So 70, 10. And he's going to use a point of willpower to guarantee a success. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes against. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so Icewind tackles him and adds, I believe, 3 to the damage, and that uses strength. So rolling for the damage. Alright, so Icewind does 2 points of damage as he just tackles the spirit and knocks him down.
As soon as that happens, he rushes in, and he's gonna push everything to the limit. He's gonna use an extra one of his last 2 rages. So he has 1 left. He's gonna use a willpower to make it succeed. 2 willpower to make both of them succeed, and he's gonna attack with his claws. Still, his ability is still active.
Okay.
Let me find my combat sheet. So first attack. That's 3 successes. So that's 3 extra damage for the first one. He does 7 successes worth of damage for the first attack. The roll for the second one. Actually, that's probably a lot more. Hang on. Let me see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Minus 1 will be 4. So there'll be 8 successes for the first damage. And then for the second one, 1, 2, 3, 2. So that'll be still 2 successes. And that'll be 9 successes worth of damage. So together it makes 16. So he's just gonna slam down both his claws onto the Bane and hope it'll be a good chunk of damage.
All right. I'm sorry. I saw the extra, the 3 rolls for the claw attacks. Is that 3 separate attacks?
Sorry, what? Did I do that wrong? I thought I did 2 of them. No, it's just the first.
Okay.
The first. Wow, I can't talk. The first 2 is 1 attack, and the second 2 is another attack. So it's two attacks.
Okay.
So he dealt 16 dice.
Okay. I'm sorry. I misread. the
No, you're fine.
the log there. All right. So 16. Okay. All right. And then. All right. So. I was gonna try to find the rolls for grapple in here, but seem to be having trouble. So I'm just gonna have Icewind just claw and try to finish off this Bane. So he is gonna use 2 points of rage and get 3 attacks. Let's see. So Dex, Brawl, okay. And with Razor Claws active, that lowers the difficulty to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so 5. 4. Alright, just going to type in the numbers that carry over to the damage. And let's see, Claw. Oh, wait, I did not take his Krynos form in account.
+1.
Oh, +1. Okay.
Technically, yeah. So
Yeah.
you have 1 dexterity, so just be +1 to each one of those.
Hold on. There we go. All right. So 5, 3, and 6. Okay. 6. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll for the damage. All right. So 4, 8, and then Claw is Strength +2. All right. So as he's going to roll a lot of dice for the damage. All right, yeah. So the two of you tear this Bane to pieces. The two of you tear this Bane to shreds. And Laszlo, go ahead and make that Gnosis roll to get everybody back into the physical world. As
soon as it dies, go ahead.
As Laz is working on that, and Icewind picks himself up from tearing this other Bane apart, and in a similar fashion, the mask that it's wearing starts to tremor and shake, and it lets out the screams and cries and wails of all the people that have been tormented in this place. As Icewind picks himself back up, he turns and says, "We need to go, there's more of them." As when the rest of you look, more similar Banes start to appear. There's about maybe 5 or 6 more. And the recently freed Garu in Adrian's arms, he starts clinging to Adrian even tighter and pulls himself closer as he mutters something about the masked doctors. And then Laz opens up the portal for everyone to come across. Heath, Icewind pushes you in front of him as the two of you make it through into the physical.
Let's never do that again. Is everybody in the side?
I made it.
Okay.
If anybody's not here, say so now, or forever hold your peace. Hey, Isaac?
Yep.
I got a question. Or I guess both of you. So these veins are a manifestation of things that happen here, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Something like that.
So, second time to be killed, one of these things, it let out a shriek of torment. I'm half wondering, did they, for the Garu that are no longer here, or that never came back, would they have been experimenting on them?
Possible.
Icewind interrupts and says, "That's a question for the Thurges. We need to go."
Okay.
Pretty sure they're not going to stop just because we're on the other side.
Yeah, but it's like he's just on the very back, partly to keep an eye on the back, and partly because he's exhausted. He's running on fumes at this point.
I think you mentioned it, but how much rage did you spend? Did you spend all of it, or do you just have 1 left?
I am down to the last. I got 1 left of each.
Okay, all right.
So I'm literally running on fumes.
Just wanted to make sure. All right. Yeah. As the 5 of you make it out of the front doors of the school, you find Melting Snow, Stoneheart, and Red Cloud. They're rounding up the children onto the wagons, and they've managed to put all the children on 4 of the wagons, and the last one has maybe like just enough room for one of you to ride in the back, and then everyone else is going to have to either ride in the driver's seat or maybe squeeze in somewhere. And
Or if they need to, they can take one of the 2 horses that we were loaned.
I almost forgot about those horses.
Keith is just gonna make way into the one of the carriages that has a spot, as he turns back into a hobbit form,
Heath,
and he just
you're in the back.
he's just gonna sit down and like, aye, boss. I'm just gonna take to catch my breath.
Well, as soon as they can, they're just gonna go.
Just run.
Yeah, just gonna start. They're just gonna leave as soon as they have everybody. Actually, all the people that they killed. One last thing I want them to do is to raid the armory, see if they can find a key. I'm pretty sure one of the people in there was the armor and had the key. Grab a few guns for anybody old enough. Guns and ammo for anybody old enough or able enough to use them, and then they're just gonna start riding.
Okay.
Have the Thurges look at the guy that they saved, and just keep going.
All right. So yeah, Icewind is going to volunteer to borrow one of the horses and raid the armory for everything that he can carry. And there isn't much time to think or plan as the Banes start to materialize into the physical world. So he grabs a horse and goes. And Stoneheart is
Yeah.
going to go with him.
And the rest of us, start driving them. Any guru that we have that don't have to drive, that being probably Laz and Isaac at the moment, and the other pack. Anybody from the other pack, keep the Banes off of us as we go. But now that they have all the kinfolk, it's mainly just a mission to get the hell away from anything bad. Keep the kinfolk safe.
Mm-hmm. As some of the older children in like their late teens, they take over on the wagons, and Melting Snow explains that they gave basically everybody a brief explanation of what was going down. So that gives you guys room to protect the wagons and hold off the Banes long enough for Icewind and Stoneheart to come back. And so the wagons ride off with the Garu holding off the Banes for a fair distance. And once everyone escapes, there's a few tense minutes where it's like, when are Icewind and Stoneheart going to get back? They were on their horses. They should have been back by now. And then there's the telltale sign of hooves galloping across the ground as the two of them emerge and catch up with the rest of the wagons. And both of them have just packs full of a good number of rifles and ammunition.
Bonus, we get to arm the people too.
All right, so for the journey back, do you guys want to play it safe and take like the like side roads and back roads all the way back, or do you want to take the main road for a faster trip, but more people will probably notice you?
We should probably take the side roads.
For the first night, they take the main road, the most main course through.
Mm-hmm.
But sometime around daytime, they're gonna split away from that, especially during the day. But the most direct route away is the best way to get the most distance. But as soon as daylight comes around, it's too dangerous. So they leave the main road as soon as the sun comes up, or as soon as they're able to, once the sun comes up. And another thing that they're going to be doing as soon as they can is scraping off all the U.S. Army paint, covering it, whatever they can, to keep anybody from seeing that they're actually riding around in stolen U.S. government wagons.
Okay. All right. My voice connection is still really haywire, so hopefully it's not giving you guys too much trouble. Yeah, the first day you're able to make a fair bit of distance, and then when you split off the road, there's actually time to recollect yourselves as you can kind of take it easy, a little more easy on the horses, and probably get some food for the children as well, as Stoneheart is looking over the Garu that you rescued, walks across stars. And one of the following nights, as you notice that the Garu you rescued isn't eating a lot of food. He isn't moving much, and he, like, when pressed for questions or answers about what happened or how long he was there, he doesn't really give a direct answer. They're usually really short, brief answers. And that's, I'd say, probably the third night or so. That's when Stoneheart gets everyone together and says that the Garu that you rescued is in Hirano.
Makes sense.
What does that mean?
How would you explain that?
I can explain it. You know how before you shifted ever, you would get angry? You've been mad before, right? Before you shifted, you've been pissed
Yeah.
off. And you know how, like, after you shifted, the rage that you feel is a hell of a lot more than just pissed off. It is actual divine power that is so terrible that you can actually gain abilities from how pissed off you are.
Yeah, I kind of used that against two fucking abominations a few days ago.
Yeah. Before we shifted, we would get depressed.
Uh-huh.
Now that we shift, we can get divinely impressed or depressed.
This is basically a mystical form of depression.
It's the loss of all will.
Yeah, he has no will to keep going. So I'm pretty sure at this point his pack was torn apart in front of him. He is the only remaining survivor. So he's got the survivor's guilt from that. He's got the fact that he has not been allowed to die an honorable death for years now while being tortured. That's pretty much down on him. He feels that he failed his mission. He might not make it, but I don't know. But I think the best thing for him is to get home to his home, to get back with his families, his people, his elders. And if we can get him home, he might survive it. And that's about the only thing I can think of doing to actually get him through it.
And if you
I-
don't make it on time,
And if we don't make it in time, that means he's starved to death. He
he's
just doesn't. He doesn't have the will to keep going. So we have to keep going for him until he can find that will, and that the only way he can do that is with his people. I'm 100% sure of that. So I understand that he's in Hirano, but we can't change our plans. We've got to get him home, or he's not going to make it. Would you agree, Isaac?
Fully agree.
what if I go into the Umbra and fly him home to get him faster?
Could be possible. as well.
Granted,
But then we're down a pack member, and we're down an Ouron.
yeah, but
You
if that
you
was
you did a lot in that fight. Are you sure that you could do that?
I wouldn't risk it.
there, I am still running on fumes.
Well, there really is no way. The thing about willpower, lads, is that comes from within. There is no way to give you the will to survive. There's no way to give you the will to keep on fighting. You have to find that yourself. So, yeah, the only thing we can do for him is to get him home. We could have one of us take him home. That splits the pack, and if the pack is split, especially that far, we're all weaker. It's not worth it for him and for us to split up. We need to stick together, and we need to keep him okay, keep him away from, well, he's got Hirano. He's not going to try and kill himself. He's just not going to do anything. I really don't think he's suicidal. He doesn't really have the will to lift a gun and shoot himself anyway.
As much as I hate to admit it, after hearing all this, you're right. Even if I had the strength to fly him home, there's no guarantee that would actually fix the problem. And you guys will be down one person when we can't afford it. Because all we can do is just keep an eye on him.
What we do is we keep him engaged. We have conversations with him. We remind him that his mission is now getting accomplished. He is seeing the end of his mission, that the kinfolk are being returned to their home. Even if a bunch of pale faces are helping him do it, his mission is being accomplished. He is seeing the end of his mission. It's his duty to do so, correct? We just keep on telling him that he did what he had to do, and that his mission is being accomplished, and that his pack members are, and that he needs to be here because his pack mates won't be remembered if he isn't. He's the one that has to do that. And as long as we keep on giving him reasons to keep on going, to give us a better chance of getting him to his home, to his sept, and to help.
So all we gotta do is talk to him, right?
Yeah.
It's easy enough. I'll take care of that. Well, we're not fighting for our lives, that is.
All
Just
right.
leave him to me.
Let's go ahead and wrap up because we've been playing for like 4 hours,
5 hours?
4 or 5 hours, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a good time to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, basically, on their ride home, I'll leave it at this. On the ride home, Adrian did bring money, so when they get close enough to a place, they will take some of the kids and put them in another wagon. Adrian will take a wagon with probably Keith or Isaac or something, and they will buy a bunch of supplies and stuff so they can avoid cities with the kids, and probably pick up some paint too, so they can paint the wagons on the way, so they really don't look like U.S. Army wagons. And they will just keep on going from camp spot to camp spot till trying to make. Well, those wagons are designed to go off road anyway, so once they hit a spot where they're not on the road, they will just make a beeline across the plains towards home. So it'll be rough going, but they'll make it maybe.